The Delhi High Court on Wednesday asked the Aam Aadmi Party government if the odd-even rule for restriction on vehicles on roads introduced by it on an experimental basis could be discontinued by Friday. The court has also directed the government to submit the data indicating changes in pollution levels in the capital since January 1st, when the scheme was launched. Hearing a bunch of public interest writ petitions on the subject, a division bench headed by Chief Justice G. Rohini observed that great inconvenience was being caused to the public at large due to inadequate public transport infrastructure in the city.
The question which was posed by the court was that if it was really on the experimental basis, then 7 days period would have been good enough to come to a conclusion whether the odd-even policy implementation has been successful or not. And if 7 days period would be sufficient, then why to continue the inconvenience of the public beyond that? Because it was initially started only as an experimental basis. Therefore, now on 8th of January the matter has been adjourned and the Delhi government has been directed to produce statistics before the court to show in a comparative table before the implementation of the policy and after the implementation of the policy to show whether the statistics are to such an extent that because of this implementation of the odd even number policy, there has been a substantial reduction in the pollution level. If not, then the court will consider it, and then the experiment may not be continued thereafter if the results are not sufficient to show.
The court asked Delhi government's standing counsel Rahul Mehra to explain what was the need for continuing with the scheme till January 15 if the data on pollution level had already been collected for facilitating the future course of action. Posting the case for further hearing on Friday, the bench observed that there were several practical difficulties with the odd-even policy. It asked the Delhi government to file a status report with the data on pollution levels in different parts of the city till Thursday on the next date of hearing.
Next point which arose before the Honorable Court was that merely by putting a restriction on the private vehicles may not be good enough because the taxes which are being paid on the vehicle on the road, they are already causing sufficient pollution if the same statistic or figure is taken into consideration. Therefore, if the reduction of these diesel vehicles in the form of taxes will be implemented 1st March onward, then why in the meantime the pollution level can be controlled?
Powered by NNIS.